Okay, so we are live. Welcome everybody. I'm Credence Baker, and I'm one of the co-instructors for the summer 2015 Tarleton OOC. And I have three of my awesome team leads here with me and my co-teacher, Dr. Collier. And we're excited to spend the next 30 minutes or so with you guys. And if you haven't already clicked on the back channel link for today's meet, go ahead and do that because it helps you to join into the conversation. So I just want to quickly let my team leads introduce themselves. So we'll start with you, Charity.
Hi, I'm Charity Hosford. This is my first year as librarian at Acton Middle School. I taught 4th grade for 6 years before that, and I will graduate from Tarleton 2 months from now, so I'm excited about that.
Good deal. And Dr. Collier?
Hi, I'm Holly Collier. I'm co-teaching with Dr. Baker, and I'm very excited to be with y'all. I just graduated with my doctorate from Tarleton, and yeah, so good things are happening.
And Kyle?
Hi, I'm Kyle Lesko. I'm a teacher I teach 7th grade English in Crowley Middle School. I'll be graduating with an instructional design and technology degree here in August.
Yes. And Tammy?
I'm Tammy Lifesti, and I teach elementary special education in Weatherford, and I mostly work with kids with autism and behavior problems. It's kind of a new role they threw me into this year, so I look forward to going back and doing that again next year. And I will graduate in August.
Yes, in fact, all of my team leads will graduate in August, and I'm extremely, extremely proud of them. And I know
Dr. Baker, it says they can't hear anything on the...
Yeah, I'm looking on today's meet, and so I do want to check in. Can anyone hear us first? There is a bit of a lag, and so I can 23 people are on watching. You do have to press the play arrow, and so it doesn't start automatically. But I'm going to wait just a second to see on the back channel. Okay, and I'm going to just post something on the back channel really quickly. If you were logged in, it might help to just log out and log back in.
I think Sean can hear us.
Good, good. I think there's a bit of a lag, and so there we go. Yeah. Okay. And listen, guys, if you can't hear us or if you have technical issues, I'm going to post this in Blackboard in the archived folder, so you'll always be able to come back and refer to what we're talking about here during the broadcast. But we are so excited to be with you here on this first broadcast, and I just want to quickly say hello to the people that are on the back channel. So I see Ken, I see Technology Tony, I see Brian, Charmaine, Jesus, Christian, Aubrey. Looks like we have a lot of people, so I'm not going to go through everybody, but it is very nice to have you guys on the back channel, and I hope that you'll use it to send in questions or issues that you're having while we're in this broadcast. So what we've kind of, the team leads and Dr. Collier and I, before this broadcast even started, we've kind of been prepping and compiling your questions from your week 1 verification form, and questions that have come in via email, and so we kind of want to just dive into some of those. And I just want to check in one more time. Okay, it looks like the majority of you are able to see and hear us, so I'm going to just continue on. So the first few questions that have come in, you're actually learning about right now in week 2. And that is using Google Hangouts, which is what we're using to broadcast to you right now. So before this session went live, we were actually all in just the Hangouts, and then you have an option to do a broadcast. And so you can see all of our videos are showing here, and we have some nice Google effects, with the exception of Charity. And I think she had some trouble with her Google effects, but you can show us, those aren't Google effects, those are real sunglasses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Holly, do you have a Google effect on? Oh, you do, yeah. It's kind of interesting because it follows you around, a little bit freaky, but we have some fun with it. So this Google Hangouts tool is just really valuable in terms of not only the broadcast feature, which you could use to, broadcast things to your school, but in terms of, maybe professional development connections that you can make with teachers across the U.S., bringing guest experts into your classroom. And so team leads, have any of you used Hangouts in that way with your own students?
I've just used it in my classes to collaborate online myself. I haven't actually used it with my special ed students.
Mm-hmm.
Just recently, I was in a tech apps classroom, and we used Google Hangouts to connect with an elementary class at one of the other elementary schools in our district. They kind of collaborated on a little project, and so they met up on Google Hangout to kind of share and show each other what they did and all that.
Very cool. So it's a great collaboration tool with lots of functions. One of the things I want to show you guys is screen share. So I'm able to not only with the people in the Hangout with me, but with you guys on the broadcast, I can quickly share my screen here and show you, for instance, the back channel. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a really neat way to be able to point, click, and share, and all of us could do this. So anybody that's in the Hangout can share their screen with the rest of the group. And then it has some other really neat features that you're going to experiment with this week, so I won't get into it, but it is a neat tool. And I just had a question from Ken. It looks like, so Google Hangouts is the base platform, but you are directing it to a third-party site. Yeah, so from the Hangout, there's some embed code, and so I'm able to use that embed code and embed it within the Blackboard window. But also, it links you out to YouTube. So if I wanted to, I could just send you a link to the YouTube video, and you could watch it live there. So good question. Okay, another question that came in from Michelle Cox on Team Innovators, Go Charities team. She wanted to know how we organized this class, a class of this size, kind of what's going on behind the scenes, what challenges we ran into, and so I could speak a little bit to that, but I wanted to kind of pitch that to Dr. Collier and the team leads, because you guys, I'm kind of directing and you're behind the scenes doing. So do you have anything that you want to talk about now that you've been through the course last year as a student and then now as a team lead? Nobody at once.
Well, I guess I'm definitely not a procrastinator. I don't wait till the last minute, but just getting things in at the last minute and having all the grading, it's kind of been just a little an adjustment and getting used to that for sure.
Eye-opening to see it from the instructor side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a great appreciation for all of my instructors now.
Been a large amount of emails, and so archiving those into its own folder has helped as well.
Yeah, and the neat thing for you guys, and the reason that I'm glad you get to experience this for your capstone, is because this is what you've been learning in your program, right? So how to build community, how to communicate and help students collaborate. So it's a really neat experience for you guys. I think I'll show you really quickly on the share window. I just want to bring up our behind the scenes.
I was going to say Google Drive has been a lifesaver.
Yes.
Everything and have folders for each little, for everything that we need. So that's helped out a lot.
It helps us stay organized with it all.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I just froze my computer. I'll bring it up a little bit later. So do speak to that a little bit, and also the Google Plus community that we use, the behind-the-scenes Google Plus community is what I was going to show them.
Mm-hmm.
Google Plus community has been great for me because at first I'd forgotten about it because I forgot, we need to post our question there so that everybody can see the question. So everybody that's in the community has a chance. If they have the same question, they won't ask it. They can go there and look for the question first before they ask a question.
Yeah, if a student's is experiencing a problem, with an assignment, you can go to the Google Plus page and see if any other team leads are having the same issue.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing, too, is that we have all of these apps on our mobile phones. And so for me, I don't know about you guys team lead-wise, but it's a lot of alerts coming in and that kind of thing, which helps you respond more quickly, but it can also drain you if you don't turn it off every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, so can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, am I frozen, though?
Yes, it's on today.
Great! So I get to spend the rest of this broadcast frozen. Hopefully it will. My little mouse wheel will stop spinning, but we'll keep plowing through. I tried to share my screen and it just totally freaked out on me, but that's okay. I'm gonna, like we said before, when technology is failing, just don't stress out. Just keep calm and teach on. So let's move on to some of the questions related to learning management systems, and there were quite a few that came in, and some of them had to do with just kind of not really understanding functionally how it could help you as a teacher. And so I thought it would be good to hear from you guys, from the team leads and from Dr. Collier, what are some different ways that you can use an LMS, not only to enhance your teaching, but to organize content and to collaborate with colleagues and that kind of thing. So do you guys want to speak sort of at your different areas on some of the benefits that you see using learning management systems?
Well, I said earlier that our special ed kids have done the same things as the rest of the kids in their classes, and our district just started using OneDrive and as a collaboration tool for kids to be able to work on a document together like we are doing in the Google Docs. And our special ed kids have done the same thing as everybody else. Their quality of work may not be quite grade level, but they are still doing the same thing as everybody else.
Very cool. And Kyle, so tell us a little bit about your district. I know you said that you guys are moving from My Big Campus to Blackboard next year. So can you kind of tell us a little bit about that and how the district is implementing the LMS and how you use it?
Sure. So yeah, we use My Big Campus for the past 2 years. I enjoyed using it. There were some complaints that it was kind of difficult for the students to use. From an instructor standpoint, it was pretty easy to use. The thing I liked about it is it had a discussion board, so it gave students an opportunity to collaborate. We did lots of, they did a Poplet and they could post it into the discussion board and then comment on their classmates' work. So yeah, we're moving into Blackboard. It's coming near, so I'm interested to see how that's going to go. I've only used Blackboard a little bit, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm sure it definitely helps with organization and student collaboration. So I'm excited to see how it's going to work.
Good deal. And you're doing some training for them this coming summer?
Yeah, here in a couple days actually. So
very cool. So what about in terms of using an LMS? So you talk about using it for content and sort of compiling resources and lessons there. What about communicating with parents? Maybe using it across the district for professional development, so you can create learning communities within an LMS and distribute professional development that way. Have any of you experienced professional development through a learning management system or through a system that sort of organizes content for you?
Well, we did something similar like that through My Big Campus, a professional development group that we would all join, and we'd post the resources there. So it was similar to that.
Okay. And so one of the benefits of an LMS is it gives you sort of class-contained communication tools, like discussion board, like email that's contained for the class. But what I was kind of, when we were practicing before we went live, I was talking about how what I like about an LMS and what I see as a benefit is rather than sending my students out to all these external sites, I'm able to pull them in and organize it in the LMS. So I'm able to pull in SoftChalks. I'm able to pull in Twitter feeds. So students, don't necessarily have to join Twitter for me to be able to communicate with them via Twitter using a feed like that. So that's some of the value that I see of an LMS. Are any of you team leads able to see the back channel? Because my screen is still frozen.
Yes.
And so can you see any questions coming in? Because the last one I see is, I don't think it's the latest one.
There's one that says, what is the showcase on the right?
Uh-huh. That's just a function of Google Broadcast. So if I use it, I can push out a link to anyone who's watching the broadcast. So if I wanted to push out a link to tarleton.edu, I could do that. And I would do that if my screen weren't frozen.
And then Sherry asked, what do you mean by back channel?
Oh, good question. So a back channel to me is when you're not able to actually be involved in the broadcast itself, but you're still able to participate live while it's going on. So this may be today's meet may be your first experience with the back channel, but I can tell you that students, especially in higher ed, they do this on their own. So the way that I found out about today's meet was I had students during a lecture class that were basically in there talking to each other about the class while I was teaching. And I thought that is so neat that they're, and thankfully not saying anything bad, but that there's a conversation going on behind the live event. So that's what a back channel is.
On a side note for the back channel, I've also seen Twitter used as a back channel.
Yes, yes. Definitely. Any other questions on there?
We have some comments about combining OneDrive and Google Drive since they each have different strengths.
Combining OneDrive and Google Drive.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great question. I have not thought about that. Can they kind of elaborate? So they're not wanting to use two platforms?
Well, it's saying that they are doing that. They are using both of them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then Tiffany from Clifton, their district is discontinuing their H drives and just going to their Google Drive.
That's cool. So their district is not having to pay for all that storage. They're putting it up in the cloud. That's neat. I know, Charity, you can talk a little bit about being at a district that's gone Google, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. Well, I know that kind of similar, like my district is moving away from the H drive because, they did, I don't know, the technology director was telling me the cost of it, and it's amazing that Google is like, so it's, I think, almost unlimited storage. I know it's like a lot, and I love that the students are able to share documents with me, their teachers. I mean, we actually use Skyward, and there's a code that teachers can put in onto Google so that they can share one document with their whole class all at once instead of having to share it with individual students. So there's so many capabilities of it. It's amazing. It's changed my life, I know for sure.
And your district, you said that you guys are about to implement Chromebooks next year?
Yes.
And so that's kind of, was that decision kind of prompted by, we're already a Google district, and since Chromebook is Google, cloud-based.
And even our seasoned teachers, the ones that sometimes resist technology, I mean, everybody is they're getting there. They're seeing the value in it. It's definitely taken some time, but just the other day I was helping an older teacher, and just she was really worried about Google Hangouts, and so I was able to just do one right there. She was in a different room in the school than I was, and I was able to walk her through that, and it's slow. It's a slow process, but I mean, our technology department's amazing, just all the support that we have with it, and so yeah, it's going great.
Good. Well, that actually is a good segue into the next kind of group of questions that we got related to how do you get buy-in from colleagues, or if you're an instructional supporter or you're an administrator, how do you get teachers on board with using not just LMSs but any technology in their classrooms? Can you guys talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I feel like just doing your best to promote it and showcase it. Inviting others into your classroom to observe you using the tool. Maybe have a buddy teacher that you can, I can go into your classroom. We can collaborate. We can work on this together. Just kind of being a support for each other in that. And then just showcasing your student work. If they, are using technology to create products, then just sharing that with other teachers, posting it online for the others to see, and just kind of getting it out there for people to notice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely think showing enthusiasm, the more enthusiasm you have for it, the more likely your colleagues are going to catch on and want to try to do the same things you're doing, modeling it for them.
I know next year my principal is wanting me to give some presentations to our staff, like in our PLC meetings, and show some of it like that.
Y'all all took the words out of my mouth. I think the support is one of the biggest pieces of technology integration, just making sure that your teachers have confidence that they'll be able to access what they need to in their classrooms, that they have the support from fellow colleagues and administration. But I think another piece is also that there's purpose behind it, that the teacher knows that they have ownership over it, that it's relating to their curriculum, that they can see how it's going to enhance their students' learning. There's so many pieces to it, but the support is a key element.
I agree. And then, one thing I'll add, and sorry, I'm still frozen. One thing I'll add is, and you're going to see this in a later module, really not only just having a good infrastructure, good support, but you yourself as a teacher realizing that it's okay to go slow, and really the only way to be successful is to go slow, take it one tool at a time. And you'll find in this week's module step-by-step information for when you find a tool that you think might be valuable. There's really a good systematic way to implement that in your classroom. And if you go through those steps, your chance of failure is a lot lower. And so I hope that you'll check out that resource. It's in the Soft Talk lesson for week 2. It's step-by-steps for implementing technology into your classroom. And if you really think about tools from the perspective of letting students be owners of it, so letting them create the products, and you really being a guide on the side, not feeling like you have to master the tool before you can show it to your students. So that would be one tip from me too. Well, my computer is honestly so frozen, I cannot believe you guys can still hear me. Like the screen is almost whited out, and I'm afraid to end the task because I'm afraid it would end the broadcast. But I'm glad you guys can still hear. We have about 6 minutes left, and I wanted to quickly comment on a question from Mark Nelson from Connectors. He wants to know, does Blackboard support any classroom response systems? And those are kind of clicker things that you can use for assessment, real-time assessment in your classroom. And I can tell you that here at Tarleton, we use Blackboard and integrate with e-instruction, which I think it's Turning Technologies now. But it's really neat because professors, a lot of them, that's how they use assessment data. They do pre-assessment at the beginning of class, and they're able to see real time what they might need to go back and cover in a little bit more depth. So that's a great question, Mark, and it's another sort of use of an LMS. If you're kind of thinking, okay, how can I use this? Assessment and data analysis is a big piece of it. Let's see. Let's delve into some of we had a few questions come in, and I can tell there's some apprehension with regard to using social media in the classroom. So safety issues and digital citizenship issues. So what are some things, what are your thoughts on using social media with your students and helping them, learn digital citizenship with, when they're using those platforms?
Well, one thing, and because somebody had posted a question about does anything we upload or post online go away, so I'll just touch on that for a second. But unfortunately, anything that you post is susceptible to being copied, shared, or downloaded by others. So in a sense, no, even if you delete it, it's quite possible that it's still very much out there. So, one thing that I teach my students is to be cautious of what you post and what you share. Don't share too much. Be aware of and set up privacy settings if you can. And then just always being professional in the items you post. And I did a search. There's a Common Sense Media website, and I'll post the link on the virtual hallway of some videos and other things about digital footprint as well.
I think it's so important that, if we're hesitant to use it, and I definitely agree that you do have to have some hesitation, and make sure that our kids are safe using it. But if we don't teach them how to use it, then they're never going to learn the right way to use, social media or any technology tools. So I think we have to take that leap and say, okay, they're going to access Facebook or some type of social media outside of our school walls. So how can we teach them to use it appropriately while they're here? So I think it's a good thing to use it.
Yeah, just to echo what Charity said, the Common Sense Media is a great website to teach digital citizenship. There's a video on there, I think it's called Think Before You Post, that we use, and the song will get stuck in your head. But yeah, like you said, we definitely have to teach responsible use. They're going to use it anyway, so we might as well make that part of the curriculum.
Yes, yes.
Well, and we even talked about on my campus having like a, not just a day, but just we talked about starting off the year with a digital citizenship day where, teachers can go on to the Common Sense Media website because it actually has scripted lessons and it has all the materials provided, and maybe just choosing one day where all teachers, pick a topic and do a lesson with their classes, just to kind of, give students kind of that experience with, hearing about it, and if they're hearing it, from their teachers, and maybe just doing that, throughout the year, just every now and then, so that they get that awareness of it.
There are some great lesson ideas, lesson plans on Common Sense Media, so I'm glad you said that. I've looked at quite a few of them, and they're really good ideas. So I think teachers should definitely utilize it and steal them. I think Dr. Baker stepped out, but I know there were some more questions that came in last week about using and integrating technology and LMSs into elementary school classrooms, and we're also seeing some questions come in on today's meet. Do any of y'all have any tips or ideas or anything about how to, is it a good idea to put technology into our elementary classrooms? Have you seen it done before? Anything y'all can say towards that?
I'm back. You guys didn't even need me. It finally died on me. I'm sorry. But I was able to see that you guys were still talking, so I was just glad I didn't actually end the whole session.
Yeah.
So yeah, again,
Holly,
what's that?
I was just going to say, Holly had asked a question about what we had seen our teachers doing on campuses, and we have a 6th grade teacher who posts everything to her website, and like all of links to every document that she gives out to kids and all the activities that she has, she puts on her website so the kids can access it if they're absent from school that day, or no matter what, if they lose their homework, they can access it from home if they have access to a computer and the internet.
Dr. Baker, I was referring back to using the integrating technology into elementary school classrooms. I knew there were some questions that came in, and then I was seeing some more on the back channel.
Okay, good deal. All right, so did you guys get to address any of that, or I think we're running a little bit over time. Or am I frozen again? Oh man.
No, I don't think you're frozen.
Okay. So did you guys get to talk about it at the lower grade levels?
Tammy had just hit on it, but that was it.
Okay, good deal. Well, I don't want to take up too much time. We're going to keep these short, but I do want to say thank you to everyone who joined in on the back channel, and I'm going to post that transcript along with the video in Blackboard. I also will work through whatever technology issues I'm having here on my side, and so that next time I don't get kicked out at the very end. But I think we had a really great discussion. If your question that you submitted didn't get answered and you still want an answer, I'm going to follow up with some of the questions that fell out of the sort of the common themes that we covered related to learning management systems, social media, and digital citizenship. Some of your questions that came in, I knew we would cover in later weeks, and so we may bring them back up in the broadcast that we have each Tuesday night. So, and I'm seeing some funny comments related to Frozen. I guess it's time to let it go. So I'll agree with that. Jesus, that's a funny comment to end on. So thanks for joining us for the broadcast, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.